Okay, I'm going to show you how I build a loaded snare here real quick. I've got 4 feet of 7x7 3/32 cable. This is what I use for my live coon snaring and red fox snaring and such. Show you just how to get them built and how to make them loaded. First thing I want to do is I lay the cable up here. I got a little tape on my bench here where I can measure. I need to mark out right at 8 inches. I just use a little Sharpie there and mark that right at about 8 inches. That way my deer stop will be in the right place. That's where it's supposed to be for a 2.5 inch deer stop. And then I'm going to, on that same end where the deer stop goes, I'm going to put on my aluminum ferrule. It's a stop, I guess. And I got my bench swagger here, and I crimp them twice. Some people do once, whatever you think. So there it is, crimped on there. Now the trick with the loading is right now is I want the cable, I want to curl it right along here, and I want it to go the way that it already wants to go with the natural curl of the cable. And it's really easy to tell. If you look down the cable, you can see when you try to twist the cable this way, you can see which way it wants to curl. It naturally flips over and it wants to go down that way. So now what I need to do, since I'm going to use a cam lock, is I'm going to bend that exactly 90 degrees to the way that it wants to curl. So I'm just going to take my pliers, just bend it over like that, 90 degrees, just like so. Now on my bench, I put in this little eye bolt, and I'm just going to run this part of the cable from just past the deer stop up to the end stop over this thing here and curl it kind of like you would curl a ribbon. The trick is to push down with about the right amount of pressure, and sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less, but you see how it curled down? But you want to, at the whole time, you want to keep it in a straight line this way, so the whole thing is nice and straight. You don't want this curled over this way. You want it going down like it's supposed to, like that. Okay. Now that would be probably good for a coyote snare, but since I'm going to use this for a coon snare, I want it a little bit more. So I'll just go ahead and run it just a little bit more. It makes it just a little bit smaller. Now what I'm going to do is go to the other end of the cable. I'm going to put my cam lock on. First it goes through this side, and I'll slide it down, bring it around. It'll come around like that. Now I need to put on a deer stop, and I use these little miniature deer stops now that they're new, kind of, to at least to me, and I'm going to put it on, and then the cable goes back through the cam lock like so. Now when you bring it down, what that does is it makes your snare in a nice round loop like this, but yet it wants to close. It's trying to curl like you curled it. So it's the memory of this where you curled it is actually trying to push this stop and the lock this way. So as soon as it starts to go, it goes really fast. That's what you want when you load them. Now I'm going to go ahead and find my mark right here where the deer stop was, and I put it in. I can put it right on the very tip of this and just mash it enough so that it won't slide. And that'll give you a nice 2.5 inch loop so that your deer stop's in the right place. So that's the whole part of the loop, and you can see how fast it is. It really wants to slam shut. Then I use a steel whammy. The real whammy fits number 9 wire. That's what I like. These fit really snug on the wire and the cable so that it'll hold your snare very firmly, which is very important. Then I'll go ahead and put my tag on. Might as well have it on there as I'm building, save me wrapping around later. Then the swivel goes this way, and a little washer so that it doesn't bind up when you put the stop on the end. I'm going to go ahead and crimp the stop on the end, leaving it back just a little bit from the end. I don't want a lot out there, but I like to leave just a little bit. Makes it harder for the stop to ever slide off. I've never had one slip off there, but I'm told that's how it should be, so it won't, and so that's how I always do it. But you should be able to see now that's the completed snare. It's got my tags, got the cam lock and everything, and it's loaded and it's super fast, ready to be dipped in some Formula 1 and then go out on the line. I hope that helps.